Hello, my dear friends. Today I am talking about an outer planet, Pluto, and how it's working in natal chart, in zodiac signs and houses. Information about what Pluto means in astrology you can find in the vlog that you can find description below. What are outer planets? Outer planets, I remind you, are Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto. So let's start talking about Pluto in zodiac signs. Pluto in Aries is where you can go to extremes. Aries is where you take action. If you think that this makes for self-involvement people who are prone to take extreme actions, you are right. Those born in the 1830s and 1840s had this placement. When they grew up, they became very optimistic and doer generation. What about Pluto in Taurus? As you know, Pluto rules Scorpio, so it's debilitated in Taurus. Where you have the planet of death and rebirth in a sign of stability, the planet of obsessions in a sign that loves material and sensual pleasures. The last time Pluto have been in Taurus between 1853 to 1883. That was a generation that believed strongly in material progress and slowly, steady improvements and ignored forces that were lurking right beneath the surface. They led humanity into the First World War. So we have to be aware of our own actions and the impact upon all of us. Pluto in Gemini. When Pluto is transiting this sign, people alive at the time get obsessed with the things that the sign rules, but they often cannot bring them into practice. The generation born with that Pluto placement will be obsessed with those things for their entire lives. They are the ones who finally make it happen. When Pluto have been in Gemini in the past, the great ideas of the age were undermined and started to get overthrown. Planck and Einstein overthrew classical physics. Freud turned ideas to the human mind upside down, and Picasso destroyed art for other people's point of view. None of those ideas were really accepted those times until the generation born with Pluto and Gemini grew up and took power. Planck wrote that ideas don't win out by force of logic, but only when their opponents die out and a new unbiased generation takes over. Pluto, planet of death and regeneration, and Gemini, sign of ideas. Pluto in Cancer made a generation that was obsessed with home and homeland. These folks were born between 1914 and 1939. When they grew up, the suburb in the country, in the US especially, exploded. Everybody had to have their own house. Around the world, most of the colonies became independent. Home and homeland became first. Pluto in Leo marked a generation between 1939 and 1956, and some in 1957 and 1958. They have been obsessed with self-expression. These are the war babies and the baby boomers, and do your own thing was their motto. This was the generation that was never going to grow old. As they age, they become fanatic about trying to stay young, hence the proliferation of health clubs. Long-term insurance, to be healthy very long time, this is the idea. Before 1960, Marketing experts should estimate from a person's income what kind of car they would probably drive, how expensive their houses will be. You would get people who will live in a small house but drive a big car and take expensive vacations, because for them the experience of living is more important than to have things very expensive. Or someone who live in a big house and drive a Beetle, for example, in the opposite side. And of course, this generation made all these riots on the campus. Pluto and Leo will always defy authority, unless, of course, they are the authority. Pluto in Virgo. This happened in the last time from 1956 to 1971. By contrast with the Pluto and Leo generation, which made riots on the campus, Pluto and Virgo people are more concerned with work and health, preferring to be active in the background rather than being in the spotlight. Of course, this is just one placement, and again, to look at the whole chart, it's important before reaching to conclusion. Pluto in Libra gave us a generation between 1972 and 1984 that will be obsessed of art. When they grow older and move into position of power, look for an increase in the art market. They will also be obsessed with fairness, justice, and partnership. Look for the institution of marriage to make a brief comeback and for a push to reform the legal codes. Pluto in Scorpio happened from 1984 to 1995. This generation will be obsessed with all things sexual things, of course. Even more, however, they will be the generation to bring about a biological revolution, including human cloning. Pluto in Sagittarius have been obsessed with long journeys. This is the generation between 1995 and 2008 that will want to go into outer space, the only true long journey left. Pluto in Capricorn. Now we are during Pluto in Capricorn transit. So, Capricorn is the sign of organization and corporations, the sign of authority. So with the Pluto here, there was the first truly successful revolt against an empire, the American Revolution. To remember that during American Revolution, this transit, Pluto and Capricorn, happened. Those born with this placement included the people who made the French Revolution also, established a new authority, Napoleon. Napoleon used to be the first modern dictator, extending state authority further than ever before. Pluto in Aquarius. In 2023, Pluto will enter in Aquarius. So Pluto will transit in a zodiac sign that it's about sudden changes and radical changes. The last time this happened was during the French Revolution, the period that shocked and changed the Europe. People born during that time were obsessed as a generation with the new ideas of liberty, fraternity, equality, all of which have an Aquarius nature. Here it's a trap of an illusion, because there is no equality. We are different from the starting point of our birth date. So it's not about equality here. We have different qualities. So fraternity? Maybe, but it's too much saying fraternity. Maybe friendship or understanding. Liberty. Liberty where? Inside or outside? The most important liberty and freedom is coming from inside. You can have a lot of freedom outside and you still feel trapped. So here it's very important to be aware about all these values. Pluto in Pisces. This happened the last time during the first 2 decades of the 1800s. People born with this placement tend to be fantasized to obsession. This will not occur again until 2043. If you are still alive then, look for a rise in drug addiction. Will be a rise in drug addiction and a lot of activities that induce a lot of illusions in people's life. Maybe until then, most of the people will be busy with the virtual reality, and who knows, we will see. But beware, especially the people that are young now. Now I'm talking about Pluto in houses in natal chart. Let's see what has happened. When Pluto is in the first house, gives you the traits of the sign of Scorpio, intense and secretive. You can give orders to a stranger and they will fervently do as you say. You have a great impact to other people. Your intuition about the people you meet for the first time is like a laser, You see through the people. Be careful about what you want because you will get it, for better or worse. If you are ever injured, this gives the ability to make an amazing recovery, back from the death, reborn. Pluto in the second house. This is the planet of extremes, all or nothing, life and death, obsessions. Wherever Pluto is in the horoscope, you can easily become obsessed. And here it's a second house. It's about money and possessions. But the opposite extreme is also possible, and the person with this placement can treat money as if it were worthless. This Pluto makes here a full all or nothing commitment. If you have this placement, don't just sit on your resources. Learn to use it. They will grow or die, so keep working. Grow your ability to use money, how to invest, how to use it. And for my point of view, it's correct because I have Pluto in the second house and I'm working beyond astrology and whatever I do in my private life. I'm working in insurance, life and health insurance, for more than 22 years, and I like it. Pluto in the third house. Your words can heal or kill. This placement gives you communications great power. It's a great one to have if you are a therapist or a salesperson or an advertising copywriter whose words can influence millions. Words just seem to have extra power when you say them or when you write it. Relations with siblings and neighbors will never be dull. It's about love-hate relationship. Nothing is in between. Or you love or you hate. Pluto in the fourth house. Don't mess with Daddy. He may have been strong to the point that he exceeds his authority to you. Pluto shows where you can regenerate when you are hurt or drained. Go home to recharge is the best place for you. If you ever had disagreement with someone, ask that person to come over to your place to discuss it. So your power, influence, increase when you are at home, the place that you feel that it's your home. The older you get, the most likely it will be that the power of your personality increases. Pluto in the fifth house. All or nothing in the romance area. Periods of really intense involvement followed by long stretches or nothing. Pluto rules volcanoes also, and they have to recharge before they erupt again. Games are not games for you. You are very serious in any game and will come out with a lot of blood. The first child will be stubborn and intense. One of the pluses of Pluto in the fifth house is that shows where you can recharge when you are drained. So just take off from work and have a good time. Make a party, go to a party, make love. Watch out to not become obsessed with the person that you love. And be careful that they don't become obsessed with you also, because Pluto can play in both ways. Also, it's an intention in your relationship with your children. So be aware of the energy that you put in this relationship. Also be aware when you are investing in stock exchange. Here it's a long run approaches, a strategic one. So be strategic, not obsessed. Pluto in the 6th house. You have to be careful of the violence from co-workers. If you have displacement in your natal chart, you need work that can really grab you. Sometimes you can get obsessed about. The work itself probably involves death and rebirth, which covers everything from psychologist to sewer worker. If it's a normal job, Pluto will come out in other probably more negative ways, office politics and power struggles. Pluto in the 7th house gives a very intense partner. You may love or hate each other, but you will never be indifferent. So, if you assume this kind of relationship, you will be happy, both of you. If you are not happy with this relationship will become very toxic. So you have to take a very radical decision. Pluto in the 8th house. The people with displacement have to take care that sexual activity does not become compulsive. When it comes to other people's money or partnership resources, take care of avoid power trips, to avoid underhanded methods to seize control just to feel strong. Also, you need to control more your sexual power, because here also can have some traps in your life. And in the same time, this Pluto in 8th house, it gives you the great power and intense power for a long run to study everything and to discover everything that is forbidden, secret, or hard to understand. In research activity, it's very important, this power. Also in esoteric sciences are also very important, these powers, okay? Pluto in the 9th house. Long journeys can help you to understand better the life, especially in places that are Plutonian, somewhere where history and archaeology, ruins or volcanic soils. You can also feel very good by taking a course in some Plutonian subject, such as history, archaeology, paleontology, psychology, biology, anything dealing with death and rebirth, or bringing hidden secrets to light, or even in mining and discover the treasure, the material treasures. If you can take a course, at least pick up a book or in these subjects. If you don't feel intellectually inclined, read a murder mystery, watch adventures movie with intrigues. Pluto in the 10th house. Your career has to do with death and rebirth, so it's natural for medicine and psychotherapy. Pluto does healing, so also will get venture capitalists here. Pluto rules the sign of Scorpio, and this is the sign of money, so you have a good sense of money making. Other possible occupations can be anything linked with death, funeral worker, demolition expert, and rebirth to save other people from the danger. As well, that anything is dealing with the underworld. Both police undercover agents and the criminals they hunt can have displacement. Pluto in 11th house. Maybe you don't have many friends, but these friendships will be until the end of your life. Also, maybe you throw everything into achieving your hopes and wishes as well. Be careful what you want for. You will most likely get it. Make certain it's something you want and really you need. Pluto in the 12th house. Here Pluto suppresses rage. Don't mess with this one. On the positive side, there is increased ability in the healing professions, medicine, psychotherapies, healing of souls. So it's a very powerful place, but also you have to take care how you use it. Also, maybe you are attracted to the hidden and secret love affair with a lot of sex involved. So take care about the scandals that come up and to become public. Also, it's a very good place for secret activities and secret services and secret and far away activities that are far away from the eyes of the people. Not very public and show off kind of job. So, do you know where Pluto is placed in your natal chart? If you don't know, write me below and I will help you to identify. Until next time, I wish you all the best. Bye bye.